Okay, so what we were doing here is we're doing a disassembly of a 1981 CB750 C model brake caliper. It is slightly different than the years before and after. However, it is very similar to the 1978 F model CB750. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to disassemble this screw right here on the very bottom of the caliper. Takes that plate off. We can just remove the plate. Now next what we're going to have to do is there's a little metal piece that holds two pins on the side here. As you can kind of see the little metal piece. It goes right into them and it was below that cover. So we're going to go ahead and just pry those out. And we'll get that later. So now that we have the little metal piece out, we need to undo the two bolts that hold the two halves of the actual caliper together. Okay, so now we have them unbolted. Now they may be a little difficult to pull one out, and that's because they have rubber that goes along that bolt that helps secure it to the actual caliper, but ours have already been removed. So now we can split the two halves. And we have it disassembled. So we're taking these little rubber caps off here, little dust seals, and we're pulling the piece of metal off that actually secures the caliper to the motorcycle. Set that aside. Now you can literally just pull the pads off, the little metal clip that the piston pushes against, and remove these metal pins. Next, we have the dust seal here. That is the old dust seal, which you will want to replace. And after that, you can actually pull the piston out. That's what this little thing is in there. So now that we have the dust seal off the piston, we're going to need to get the piston out. Now there's going to be a few different reasons why it's going to be very difficult to get it out. One, because the piston could be corroded, and two, because it's supposed to be sealed and they're pretty tight. There is a little rubber band in there that helps create a seal between the piston and the housing to keep the brake fluid behind the piston. So there's a couple different ways you can get this out. The way that we got ours out, or we're going to get ours out, is we're going to hook a grease gun actually up to one of those two fittings we have, as you can see here, one by the bottom of the thumb and the other one, which is the bleeder valve. You hook it up to there and you basically just put pressure into it to push the piston out. Another method you could use is you could actually hook up a braking system like off the motorcycle and pump it out like you normally would, so long as it's not corroded. But if you're redoing a brake caliper, most likely it's going to be corroded and you're going to need a grease gun to get it out. So we've gone ahead and hooked our grease gun up to our Zert fitting, and we pumped the piston out. So now we can remove the piston. And inside you can see we just have the inside of the body, and there's our seal that we showed you earlier. Here's our old seal that we're going to go ahead and take out and replace. Alright, so now what you're going to want to do is under that seal there's going to be a lot of corroded brake caliper fluid. You're going to want to use either a brush or some steel wool to clean behind there, and you need it nice and clean because that's where the new seal goes and creates a seal between the piston and the actual body.